everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Fitness Education Series produced by the Australian Fitness Academy. It's like progressive overload for your brain. This episode, I thought it's a nice, timely episode just to have a chat about the Olympics, which is obviously on at the moment in Paris. I'm sure a fair few of you out there are tuning in and watching some sports, and there's still plenty of good sports to come over the next sort of week. And I just thought it's a really interesting topic to talk about in terms of athlete development, athlete performance, things we can learn from these athletes that have basically trained and worked their whole life to compete at the top level of their sport, which is an insane effort. I've been lucky enough, I've worked with one Olympic athlete. She was a former Olympic athlete. So when I was working at Carlton, women's football, Chloe Dalton was an athlete on our list, and she had previously been the women's rugby sevens at the Olympics and won a gold medal in Rio. So I guess she's the one that I've had the ability or the honour to work with previously, which has been really, really cool. So I guess I sort of got to work with her after Olympics. So she'd obviously been training for many years in the sport of rugby and competing in the Olympics in that. So she was already a well-credentialed athlete by the time I had the opportunity to work with her in that team environment. And it was a great experience for me as well as all the other athletes in the team. I think obviously the Olympics is the elite of the elite in terms of levels, and to make it to the Olympics in any sport is an absolutely phenomenal feat. But I think everybody who had the opportunity to learn from Chloe while she was at Carlton in the AFLW team, everyone had that opportunity to sort of learn from her experience and the way she went about things. And even watching her as an athlete on the field, training, doing conditioning drills, whatever it was, she always did everything to the best of her capabilities, but also super precisely. She was always prepared well off field, and then was super professional with anything in regards to training, whether it's nutrition, preparation, recovery, was always top class, and it shows. So the way she sort of went around her performance, practicing and training, obviously helped her get to that elite level of athlete performance. And even though she was in a team of obviously a lot of high level athletes at Carlton, watching her train and run and do anything was unbelievable. Having that opportunity was really, really cool. So just seeing someone that was able to perform at that really high level. And I think that's one thing we can sort of learn from Olympic athletes. Obviously, we probably don't all have the opportunity to know an Olympic athlete or work with an Olympic athlete. But if you ever get the opportunity to hear them speak, or whether you watch presentations online, potentially, I'm sure you can find interviews with them. I think they're great people to pull knowledge from. Their work ethic is second to none, no matter what sport they're in. The amount of work and the work ethic you're going to need to get to that elite level is just going to be out of control. So I think that's what I sort of get a kick out when I watch the Olympics. Obviously, athlete performance is sort of my background, and my interest is in improving athlete performance, all that sort of stuff. So the Olympics is like the pinnacle. So seeing these athletes that have worked for 4, 5, 6 years to get to where they are, and see what they're able to achieve is really, really cool across all sports. So just their ability to perform at such a high level compared to everyone else, no matter, like, there's people out there who train for years and years and don't even get close to the Olympic level. So the athletes we're watching are really unbelievably talented, but also need that level of dedication to train and to get to that level of performance, no matter what the sport. I think it's really cool watching a range of different sports as well, but also seeing sports like the triathlon and things like that. Watching that and seeing sports where you can actually go out and do the exact same thing as them, to really get a feel for how good they are, how good their physical performance is. Even a lot of the swimming events, if you can swim, go out and do a 100-meter swim and see what time you get compared to the time the athletes are getting. It's absolutely phenomenal. So sort of seeing these crazy high benchmarks these athletes have set for performance is really, really cool, and can sort of help motivate you a little bit to improve. Obviously, you might not get to that Olympic level, but seeing your time improve is really, really cool. But putting their efforts into perspective, is unbelievable, what they can do. So yeah, keep that in mind as you're sort of watching the Olympics over the next week. If you have any thoughts on events you see, sports you see in terms of performance, yeah, shoot an email to tom@afa.com.au. I'd love to get your thoughts on anything Olympics. Is there an event you're interested in, a sport you're interested in the training side of things, for a particular sport you might see? Shoot me an email. I'd love to sort of keep any podcast going. The Olympics over the next couple of weeks are really, really good, and it can start a lot of a chat about sport performance and athlete performance, in general. I think it's really cool to see other like different sports as well, even like table tennis in the Olympics. I was reading that there was a athlete who was 61 years old and she was competing in the table tennis. I think she um, got to the round of 32 as well, and then got knocked out by the world number one. But it's unbelievable to see someone at that age also competing. So it's good to see a range of sports, not just a lot of, I guess, the sports that require a lot of physical performance. Things like a swimming, or a lot of the athletics that will come up require you to be quite elite physically, and they sort of test your components of fitness. But you also see those sports like that involve more skill orientated performance. So table tennis potentially is one. Obviously you need to have some sort of physical fitness, but it's going to come down to skill as well. So you can get these older athletes really doing really well compared to, say, the younger athletes, where you might not get that so much in the sports that focus on fitness components, where you have to perform physically and athletically. As we start to age, we sort of lose mobility, muscle mass, all these sort of things. So the younger athletes potentially tend to be better. But for skill-based sports such as table tennis, even things like shooting or archery, these sort of sports, you can see these sort of older athletes who have experience, can sort of get involved and be really good too. So I think the Olympics is a really cool time to get involved in sport. It can push people to maybe take up a sport, which is great for health and fitness. So if someone's out there and they want to get into a sport, helping them train or develop the capabilities to improve their performances is going to be really cool, because the better they get at the sport, or the more they enjoy the sport, the more likely are they to keep up that habit. And these sporting habits that we develop can help us keep fit as we age, keep healthy as we age as well. So I think sport's a really great initiative for health and well-being. So as well, obviously we have in the gym, and we're trying to develop our physical capabilities, and some people love the gym to get fit, so they like running on treadmills, or they like lifting weights, or they like cycling. They just love that sort of exercise to keep fit. For people who don't find the gym as motivating, or as sort of like a hobby, they don't like lifting weights, they don't find it interesting or fun, getting involved in sport can be a way to sort of make exercise fun. And once they start enjoying that, they might look to improve their performance. So they could start to lift weights every now and then, 1 or 2 times a week, and they're motivated by improving their sport performance. So it can be a great way to get people in the gym and see how going to the gym 2 to 3 times a week could help them improve at their sport and have more fun playing their sport, and they sort of play off each other. So that's really cool as well, I think. But yeah, hopefully that's a bit of my thought on the Olympic Games, guys, and athlete development. But yeah, if you have any thoughts on the Olympics, athlete development at that higher level, what it looks like, all that sort of stuff, send an email to tom@afa.com.au. More than happy to do any follow-up podcasts or ideas or questions you want me to cover on any of that. Other than that, guys, have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you all soon.